actual fans. I feel like as actual fans of sport, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, as a more just kind of relaxed person, even with my own favorite sport, soccer, it's like, yo, some people are too deep in. Like, they be having these players' meats in their mouth, like they're gargling on the nut. Like, yo, chill, bro, it ain't that deep. They'll be like, for soccer terms, it's like, oh, Barca over Real Madrid, or Real Madrid over Barca, oh, 14 Champions Leagues, what was that one, 5-2 or whatever. Like, gang, yeah, I don't know, gang, it ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. Like, you're literally glazing a man over another man. Like, bro, like Cristiano or Messi. Like, bro, that's the thing I be finding weird. Like, you're glazing a whole other human being, another man. Like, you want that man's meat. That's the thing. That's the thing. You're like, you're laying for like I don't know, gang. I'm not gonna lie. I did not know that was a thing. Cause me personally, if there's something that's happening, I just be in the moment. I just be vibing, bro. Like, I just be chilling for the most part. So to be like, yo, football's kind of lame. Then why are you here? Why are you here, bro? That door's right there. Just go home, go do what you do. Go mind your own business, gang. It's like you're bringing the vibes down, gang. Like, bro's trying to oral farm, but it ain't working. That's literally what it is. Trying to oral farm, but it ain't working. That's what I see it as. Like, why you being bro came in from like Frowntown or something.
Alright, look. So we got why the Super Bowl kind of sucks. I don't think it's too bad if I'm being honest. Like, I haven't actually seen one, like a full Super Bowl or a Super Bowl in general. I've just seen little bits and pieces. Obviously, the commercials, you feel me? I don't know if they've died out like that. Like, I remember them being peak. I don't know if they're still like that. And what else is there? I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something, but if I'm being honest, I don't know. It's not my area of expertise. Like, football is fun to play, but I don't watch.
How many times can a person get tugged? Well, we have found the limit at Extra.com, where you can see exclusive content that I say dirty things in. Go check it out. Super Bowl Sunday, the closest thing Americans can get to a real holiday without getting a day off from work. We stuff our faces with the physical embodiment of mortal sin known as buffalo chicken dip. Wash it down with a symphony of differently branded water-adjacent light beers, all while grown men concuss themselves on the gridiron of...
Yo, that's the one thing about football. Like, I feel like there's a certain level of fear and pain tolerance you have to have. Because ain't no way you're going to see me on a football field getting tackled. You're tripping, gang. You are tripping. That is not in my capabilities. That is not in my wants or needs or on my bucket list. Like, I am not trying to get body slammed by 6'5", 280. I'm good. I'm 5'6". Like, gang, I'm 5'6", probably on a good day 5'7". I'm going to get killed. I'm going to actually die, bro. I'm going to die if I go in there. That body armor ain't doing nothing, bro. I'm gonna get one taps, bro. I'm gonna be in the gulag. Like, this is not that. I'm glad, I did not go down that route, because I would have been dead. I would have been gone.
Glory. Over time, the Super Bowl has become much bigger than itself, almost a parody of what it used to be. Much to the dismay of real football fans, Super Bowl Sunday is becoming more about the party that surrounds the game rather than the game itself. It's the celebrities, musicians, and fanfare that we celebrate, not the genetic freaks we see on the field. Honestly, the people who show up to the Super Bowl party and actively ignore the game seem like they're having the most fun, because they're not, screaming at the TV. They didn't bet 300.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. And here's just one thing I'm thinking about. Imagine putting a parlay on it. A parlay would go crazy, gang. Or, hear me out, that and the World Cup. Everyone's going to be putting money on that, gang. Every single person is putting money on that. So, like, hopefully the payout's good. I don't gamble myself. I don't do any of that. But, like, I can see the vision. I see the odds. You know what was crazy? When they had like 18, this is more for soccer, because that's what I'm into. It was like 18 Champions League games in one day, or something like that. It was like a huge amount, 18, 19, somewhere around there. And someone hit a 14-leg parlay. Like, that's crazy. That is crazy. It was like 14 legs. They got like 50 bands off of that. I'm like, no, bro, that should have been me, but I don't gamble, or I don't put parlays in. I'm like... Hey, props to him, though. That is crazy. That is a crazy odd. Like, bro, I know they be selling too. Like, teams be playing terrible when you go over and be playing amazing when you go under. Like, I remember I saw a match where I think my brother put a parlay in it, and he put it on Curry, and he had to get, like, I think over 20 points. Bro, he got like 6. Like, bro. and then, you assume, okay, he's probably gonna do bad. You know, his form wasn't that great last time we put money up. You go under, and it's like, bro, he got like 30 or something like that. I'm like, dang. And I know there's a ban list. Like, don't put your money on them because you'll lose.
$100 on a play that obviously wasn't gonna happen. If it just hits, we can go to Disney this year, kids. But is that such a bad thing? You know, do you need to care about football to enjoy the Super Bowl? Well, let's find out just exactly where things started to head south or north, and at the same time, find out why your dad, who exclusively wears a Lions quarter zip to work, why he tells you to shut the f up during the game. So once again, Chris, hit me with the flashback. We're going back in time as we always do at the beginning of Big Tug videos. Whoa, flashback. Football was pretty much front and center at the first Super Bowl because, yeah, no shit, they didn't really know what entertainment was back then. Even though the NFL began all the way back in 1920, the first inaugural Super Bowl didn't take place until 1967. And the reason the big game was created in the first place was because of a little upstart called the American Football League. The NFL had squashed out all of its competition for the first 4 decades of its...
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Those helmets are wild. Gang. I'm not gonna lie. Compared to what we see now, that looks like a Peter Cech helmet. Like, if you know soccer, if you know that, or you can search it up, Peter Cech, bro, he'd be wearing that same exact helmet. He retired, but gang, you're for sure getting a concussion off of that. One good tackle, you're gone. You're gone. There is little to no protection from what I'm seeing. You're cooked. If you're not a big built man, like, can take anything, and, you know, you're gone. I'm not gonna lie. GG's.
Existence, but the AFL, established in 1960, had some money to spend, brother. They would be stomped out easily. It was run by a fella named Lamar Hunt, who was a son of a very famous oil tycoon out of Texas and was the heir to his massive fortune. The AFL was luring away top talent with massive contracts, like giving college star Joe Namath a then unheard...
So you're telling me this is the OG of manager mode or something like that? Or like, what would be a proper thing? There's a proper term for it. Bro, I don't know. What's the easiest way I can... Like, manager mode, like, you just get the best players, put them in your team so you can immediately win. Bro, there's a proper word for it, though. I don't know.
$427,000.
427,000. I wonder what that was like back then, though. Like, how much money we talking? Because you also got to think, of course, that's going to be more in past money, but then the value of things is also lower. So it's like you got more bang for your buck. Oh, those were the times, man. I wasn't even alive, but, like, I can only imagine. You just get out of college. You know, you have your high school sweetheart. You have a kid. You somehow buy a house. Like, gang, you cannot. You gotta almost be like lucky to even try and do it. I wouldn't even say lucky, but you feel me? Lucky, or have some sort of plan where you're immediately making a lot of money. Like, that's crazy.
I didn't adjust that for inflation. That's probably pretty normal, but at the time that was insane. And they even gained a foothold in the television market with an exclusive $36 million deal with NBC. For a few years, the leagues tried to coexist, you know, tried to live together in harmony. They even had a gentleman's agreement where they decided they wouldn't poach talent from each other's leagues. But of course, like any peace treaty a white man signs, it didn't last for long. The owners of the teams became worried that if they started sniping each other's talents, bidding wars would start driving up players' salaries and hurting their bottom line. So in 1966, they decided to do the twin fusion move and put their leagues together. But even before the leagues officially combined their business operations...
That's smart, though. Like at least bare minimum, they came together instead of just driving each other like competition was. Like, okay, gang, I'm not gonna let you... Like, they put their, I guess, ego aside and said, okay, yo, this ain't looking good for us. Like, we're not gonna be hard-headed and be the solo competitor or something like that. They're like, all right, let's team up. let's squeeze them for the most we can.
They decided to take the step of unifying their brands by creating an AFL NFL World Championship game. So in January of 1967, the world's first Super Bowl took place. So it would be hard to imagine just how insane the Super Bowl would become if you attended the first one, because
Yo, no, but what I'm saying is like they need to have like an all-star kind of fight, like not fight, match, where it's like they get the best players from like, isn't there like Eastern and Western Conference or something like that? And then they make them into one team, and then boom, they have a final battle kind of thing, like, oh, who's better from what side? You feel me? Like they assert their dominance, they're the alphas or something like that, something close to that. Do they do that? Does any league actually do that? I actually wonder. I think, does the MLS do that? I think I swear I've seen some sort of sport do that. It was soccer though. I feel like, was it soccer? Gang, I
this
don't know.
was a far cry from what we think of the Super Bowl as today. Well, it wasn't even close, not even a little bit. Today, tickets to the game cost around like $8,600 just to get a seat. Back in 1967, you could get a ticket for $6 or $12 if you wanted to bool out. And even if you adjust for inflation, that's still only like $100 per ticket. And I'm pretty sure that's the cost of a stadium beer nowadays. But even at $12 if you wanted to bool out. And even if you adjust for inflation, that's still only like $100 per ticket. And I'm pretty sure that's the cost of a stadium beer nowadays. But even at those incredibly cheap prices, there were about 32,000 empty seats in the stadium for numero uno. No one really gave a shit about the Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl, no one really cared at all. At least not like they do today. And they tried to make things better. Like they tried to zhuzh up the halftime show, and that was a disaster. It featured 2 college marching bands and a drill team from a local high school. A local goddamn high school. But don't...
Yo, but you gotta think, that's low-key an honor. That's low-key an honor. They made history right there. Like, sure, it was small at the beginning, but you gotta think, like, that's crazy, gang. That's crazy. I mean, they came up from nothing, I guess. But, like, what I do wonder is how'd football start? Like, who came up with the rules? How'd they... Because I know, like, sports, they advance over time, but I'm like, yo, how do you even come up with something like that? Like, the same thing with soccer. It's like, how do sports just come around? Like, is it out of boredom, curiosity? Like, that's what I want to know. Because if I'm correct, wasn't soccer, like, from prison or something like that? Or is like from like some European country? It's either one of the two. I don't remember though. Made with, and the ball was like some sort of like, wasn't it like a pig bladder or something like that? Like that's crazy.
Worry, we have a surprise act that's gonna save the show. Guest trumpeter Al Hirt. You know Al Hirt. You guys love Al Hirt, right? Just for context, if you don't know about Al Hirt, that makes complete sense. He wasn't even cool at the time. This wasn't Miles Davis or John Coltrane playing the trumpet in front of everybody. Al Hirt played Dixieland jazz, like the shit you hear in the back of like really silly blooper reels. Like no one was into this. And for the grand finale, they had a fantastic idea. At the end of the game, they released 10,000 helium balloons and a bunch of pigeons, like 100 pigeons. Not the Blue Angels, but it's something. So yeah, a far cry from the current Super Bowl model that we have today. And like, also, we called it the Super Bowl retroactively. Like, that was not the name of the event until 3 Super Bowls in. Lamar Hunt called the game the Super Bowl in interviews, claiming he was inspired by the Whammo brand Super Bowl his kids were playing with at the time. And the name wasn't even popular at the time. Like, the people in the NFL and the fans thought it was fucking stupid, but the press loved it, so we stuck with it. Now it is the Super Bowl. But where do you go when you start at the Mariana Trench of bottoms? Well, surely nowhere but up. From its humble beginnings, the Super Bowl slowly became an American institution. Of the 10 most watched TV broadcasts in American history, 9 of them are the Super Bowl. The only thing in history that Americans watched more than the big game was the Apollo 11 landing, and they just tuned in because they were sure they were going to watch people die, and that's kind of why people tuned into this.
That's actually evil, bro. No, I know that's a joke, but that's actually crazy to say. Because the Apollo 11... Which one was the one that crashed? Was that 13? Right? Was it 13 that crashed? Am I right? My history could be off. I don't remember. But, yo, that actually has to be mad exciting, though. Like, I'm not watching the full thing. Like, okay, we're waiting for it to reach space and that time frame. How long does it actually take? How many minutes or hours? Is it hours? Minutes? I don't know, gang. Because I'm going to be honest, like the idea and concept, okay, we're going to the moon, is cool. But yo, that's a lot of work. Shout out to all the people at NASA. Shout out to the engineers and all that. Like, shout out y'all, for real, for real. Like that's a crazy
Super Bowl
job.
in the first place. The game has even gone global, broadcasting live to over 195 countries or territories in over 25 languages. The Super Bowl's popularity seemed to be a steady trajectory upward, and there's an argument to be considered that its popularity is completely tied with an abundance of consumerism. And if you thought I was going to do a whole Big Tug episode on the Super Bowl and not mention the horrors of capitalism, what the f*** did you think I'm going to do here? The more popular the Super Bowl has become, the more advertisers are willing to spend on it, and all that leads to more than $17 billion spent by consumers in the United States on...
Yo, you can do that? You can put like, I swear you can't do that. I mean, probably now you can't do that, or it just looks bad. Like, put the other companies and make them look bad or something like that. Like how they just showed the two different alcohol companies and then, nah, give me that Blue Moon or whatever it's called. Like, I swear you can't do that no more. Like, every time I've seen a commercial where it's like comparing to the leading laundry detergent or something like that, it's always like some blank, like there's no label on it. It's just a bottle. And you kind of got to assume, because it's like, okay, they're probably talking about OxyClean or something like that. You feel me? I mean, that makes
Super
sense.
Bowl related purchases. That being like the food you get for the game, or like a jersey you get for your dad, or like the streaming service you decide to sign up for because that's what the game's gonna be on this week. The NFL needs to figure out streaming, Jesus Christ. Not to mention the economic impact for the host city that can reach upwards of $1 billion. And now we're at the part where the Super Bowl has officially grown out of its toddler clothes. It needs it's exploding. It's so ubiquitous and overreaching that even if you don't watch the sport, you end up going to a Super Bowl party because that's just what you do. And because of that, a lot of people see it as, well, it's just a party to a lot of people. And that pisses off the people who actually give a shit about the sport. But let's just go over some of the data to really show the disparity. 75% of Americans plan on watching the Super Bowl. That's 75, but only 38% of them actually give a shit about the sport. So it's a weird...
Where do you pull these numbers from, gang? These are made up numbers. Probably the first one is right. Like the 75% of Americans plan on watching. That could be right. The 38% actually care. He pulled that out of his booty hole, I'm not gonna lie. Like, out of nowhere, bro. He pulled that out of nowhere. Because ain't no way that's actually...
Oh my god, that's a weird disparity between jocks and nerds, you know what I mean? According to surveys, an overwhelming majority of Americans are more excited for the halftime show, commercials, and drinking. It makes sense that Super Bowl Sunday is overshadowed by the party itself. Because, like, the only day Americans eat more food is on Thanksgiving. We eat so much food on Super Bowl Sunday. 11.2 million pounds of chips are dipped into 8 million pounds of guacamole. 12.5 million pizzas are ordered. Over 1.45 billion wings are devoured. And approximately 14 billion burgers are burgered.
So, hear me out. This is just me going on a crazy reach because I don't really know. So, if you're to, let's say, invest in one of the companies, right? You say, okay, let me put some money in a solid 100. In, let's say, what's the most popular one? Domino's, probably Domino's now. In Domino's. And the Super Bowl hits. Is the stock price gonna go up? Because, you know, I guess the projections for sales or whatever goes up. And if it does, is that a good investment strategy? When there's something big happening, you go to the source of what's being spent, and then boom, after that happens, after it reaches its peak, you sell. And this to me, because I don't really dive into stocks and things like that. Like, I've dabbled in it, but I haven't fully like jumped in the water for it. I've like stuck a toe in. That's about it. Because the most I'll do is put money in like index fund. Is it index fund? I forgot the name. It's not index fund. It's I can't remember. It's the type of investment. But that's just me just making a random guess.
Grilled. Why did I say burgered? And to wash it all down, approximately 50 million cases of beer are sold. God, doesn't that stat just want to... Don't you want to get behind the wheel of a car? But I mean, if you're trying to get someone into Super Bowl Sunday, this amount of food and booze is a surefire way to get anyone hyped up for the season. Everyone loves an excuse to party, and that's pretty much what the Super Bowl has become. In fact, 16.1 million Americans plan to call off from work the next day. 6.4 million workers plan on going into work late, and approximately 6 million employees will call in sick. And I don't know what this does to the economy, but it cannot be good. All told, the financial impact from our collective super hangover is estimated to cost companies around $6 billion. Okay, so I put it in the script I didn't remember that, so I'm glad I got that answer immediately. Honestly, I don't really care about the bottom line of business daddies. I don't really care what happens to them, but I do find it interesting that Super Bowl Sunday turns a bunch of seemingly normal people into absolute monsters. As someone...
Yo, wait. So how's this tying it all into why the Super Bowl sucks? He's giving out all these... Is it because he's saying people care less about the party and, like... I mean, more about the party and less about the actual match? Because I'm not gonna lie. I'm of the idea it's like, yo, it's a chance for everyone to get together, have some time. And it's like, of course, the people who care about the match are obviously going to get a bit tilted because it's like, yo, we're here for the match, not for the side projects, not for the commercials. It's like, focus on the game. But I'm not going to lie. I personally, maybe because I'm not into sports, like watching sports, or I'm not into the Super Bowl or football, like watching. It's like, yo, I'd much rather go there for the vibes, spend time with people. And it's like, yo, I guess it's a clear separation of interest that I'm really thinking about. Because, I don't know. I don't know how you're going to tie
look
it
at
all
me,
in.
doesn't really care about football. I don't want to shock you, but I mean, Jesus Christ. But when you go to these parties, you're going to have to navigate certain types of people in order to get out of there alive. So I've broken down the types of people you're going to meet into categories, and I'm calling it Big Tug's Big Game Party Archetypes, which is BT, BG, PA. I don't know. I could have done that better. So up first, the one person you really got to worry about are the actual football fans. They're...
Okay, you see, that's a long introduction to it, bro. We're halfway in the video. Into the types of people we meet. I don't know. I guess he's giving foreshadowing. But actual fans, I feel like as actual fans of the sport, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, as a more just kind of relaxed person, even with my own favorite sport, soccer, it's like, yo, some people are too deep in. Like, they be having these players' meats in their mouth. Like, they're gargling on the nut. Like, yo, chill, bro. It ain't that deep. They'll be like, for soccer terms, it's like, oh, Barca over Real Madrid or Real Madrid over Barca. Oh, 14 Champions Leagues. What was that one? 5-2 or whatever. Like, gang. I don't know, gang. It ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. Like, you're literally glazing a man over another man. Like, bro, like Cristiano or Messi, like, bro, that's the thing I be finding weird. Like, you're glazing a whole another human being, another man, like, you want that man's meat. And, you know, of course, you see players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, like, they're beasts at what they do. They're crazy. Like, LeBron, come on, gang. Like, the glaze is acceptable. If we're being honest, the glaze is acceptable. But I think there's I don't know. I don't know, gang. It be throwing me off sometimes. But at the same time, it'd be funny with like LeBron. You feel me? I be seeing the edits and then the comments, and it's like would you cheat on your girl for 10 years of prime LeBron? They're like, is grass green take? Like,
they're different. So actual football fans recognize each other in two distinct ways. Either by dress code, being like a jersey, but not like you can't just like pick up any jersey. It has to be like a vintage logo or like a player that like only, it's like, you know, a deep cut. Or they recognize each other by like when someone sits down and they're all watching the game and they're actually watching, and then they start talking ball knowledge. For example, one of them might say, wow, I can't believe the D is running a 2-high nickel shell against the PFF's highest ranked tight end tandem. No f***ing clue what any of that means, but if someone says that, you know they're in the know.Ese people will band up together for the rest of the night and kind of just shit on everyone else who's not paying attention. And, okay, so, like, it's easy to hate on these people because we outnumber them at this point, but, like, it's their big day. Let's not be dicks, okay? And they're super important because the majority of the night is watching a football game, and if you don't know what's going on, you're gonna need them to clue you in. You're gonna need them to dumb it down for you. So be kind, offer to get them a beer every time you get up from the couch, just really keep it low-key. They're gonna talk a lot of shit to you. You just gotta handle that because you need to figure out what the f***'s going on. The worst thing you can do to these people, though, is talk about the commercials. They f***ing hate that. They don't Oh my god, if you ask them what they thought about that commercial, they'll kill you with their eyes. And also, it must be said that Super Bowl commercials are not what they used to be in the early 2000s and 2010s. They've fallen from grace extremely, so it's not that big of a deal anymore, but still, don't mention it to them, okay? Now, this next group of people are gonna seem like the first group of people, but they are distinctly different, and these are the degenerate gamblers, okay? Degenerate gamblers in the Super Bowl go hand in hand. It's like, ebony and ivory. Last year, 26 of American adults, nearly 68 million people placed...
You see, this is a step above. This is a step above, because you gotta think, I'm putting my money on you. Don't sell me. If you sell me, gang, you know, I can't do nothing about it. But it's like, yo, the amount of money that could be made there potentially is crazy. You just have to hope they just don't sell you. That's the one thing. You gotta hope the players that you put under play bad. Like that. That's crazy. To wish someone to do bad, like that's crazy. Now that I'm really thinking about it, that's so hurtful. That's disrespectful to them. But you know, a bag has to be chased somehow.
Wager on the game. And the total amount of these wagers is approximately $23 billion. That's a lot of shoe money that their people's children need. So that being said, statistically, there's going to be at least one degenerate gambler sitting next to you at a party. Now, once again, you'll notice them, and they're going to be yelling at the TV just like the sports fans, but they're going to have esoteric knowledge about the game. They're going to have knowledge about really extremely minute things because they placed a...
They're checking for what they placed the money on. Yo, get 5 more yards, get 5 more yards. Or if it's basketball, come on, 3 more rebounds. Curry, come on, 2 more points. Like, it's going to be very specific. They don't care about anything else but other than what they put their money on, gang. I be knowing, I be tapped in with that. I be seeing it. And I can't hate, I'm not going to lie, because it's money on the line. Like, it's one thing to do it out of the love of the game, but you got money on the line. Bills got to get paid. Rent's due. You got to eat somehow. Something's got to go in your stomach. And it's like, yo, if the money hit, it's like, yippee, we got money. Like, that's, I feel like it'd be a good feeling. Especially if you hit your first parlay ever. Like it's a cycle, gang. It's a cycle that you just... Oh, I don't know, gang. I don't know how you get out of it, like safely. Because it's either your bank account looking empty or it'd be looking fairly well. It'd be looking, you know, a bit fatter. Your pockets be a bit fatter. But I'm not gonna lie. For me personally, there's this claw machine place, right? I had to take a sip of water. But it's like, me, I'm into a lot of things. And one of those things is Pokemon. And it's like this one spot. It has claw machines, and it's like there's a few of them will have Pokemon things in it, like Pokemon plushies. So, and I'm not gonna lie, those claw machines, they'll grab it, it'll go up, and then it'll like drop it, bro. That'd be getting me so heated. That'd be getting me so tight. Pause. But like, gang, there's no reason I should be struggling this bad to get one single thing. And I feel like that's the same idea, the same like thing that keeps gambling or sports betting like hooked. It's like you need it, you gotta get it. And at some point, it's like you're too far in to quit. You're too deep in to quit. That's literally what I be seeing it as.
A 10-leg parlay on very specific moments in the game, and they need to really let those things hit. And you can bet on anything at the Super Bowl. You can bet on the coin toss. You can bet on the color of Gatorade that's dumped on a dude's head at the end. And while the other dudes might get angry at the TV screen, they're not going to get scared. And that's the difference between a degenerate gambler and a regular football fan. The degenerate gambler gets scared during the game. Because if certain things happen or certain things don't happen, they will not be able to eat tonight. It's just best to give these people a wide berth, or at the very least start gambling with them so they can cry on someone's shoulder who understands. And then finally, we have a group of people that a lot of us were, a lot of us are, and we need to discuss it. And these people are the sports ball people. Oh, we gotta stop doing this, guys. Listen, in 2013, this was a good joke. When you showed up to a sporting event and you were like, oh, I don't know anything about, what's this, sports ball? What are these jocks talking about? That joke's not funny anymore. It's actually really pathetic. You please understand that it is not good. These are the people who show up to the party and think they're better than everyone else because they don't care about football. And that makes them, I don't know, intelligent or have a higher level of intellect, I guess. And I was there. Listen, I was there. We were all Tumblr kids. We all get that. But you have to understand that not liking fun things doesn't make you win.
I'm not gonna lie. That's a thing. You're like, you're lame for like I don't know, gang. I'm not gonna lie. I did not know that was a thing. Cause me personally, if there's something that's happening, I just be in the moment. I just be vibing, bro. Like I just be chilling for the most part. So to be like, yo, you know, football's kind of lame. Then why are you here? Why are you here, bro? That door's right there. Just go home. Go do what you do. You know, go mind your own business, gang. It's like you're bringing the vibes down, gang. Like, bro's trying to aura farm, but it ain't working. That's literally what it is. Trying to aura farm, but it ain't working. That's what I see it as. Like, why are you being bro came in from like Frown Town or something like that, bro. That's what, like, maybe, I don't know, bro. I don't know the reason behind it. I'll be honest, I really don't care. Like, that it's low-key corny, bro. Trying to fake nonchalantness. Gang, I don't know. That's low-key kind of
interesting. It makes you boring. That's a really important fact of life that we all have to learn at one point. Don't talk about how the NFL's evil because of their concussion protocol. Don't talk about like everything I talked about with the money. Don't leave that shit at the door. So just knock it off, all right? We're done with that. But now that we've discussed all the weird people at the party, let's discuss the game itself. And I'm not going to talk about football because I don't know anything about that, but we can talk about the fanfare. Usually, we pay extra money to avoid ads in America, like premium streaming services like Netflix or Extra Tug. And go to extratug.com and see a bunch of fun, just fun. But Super Bowl commercials have become the cultural currency of water.
Yo, you know what actually be getting me a little bit annoyed, though? A bit off subject, but it's the amount of trouble of trying to find a platform or a service that has everything. Cause for soccer, it's like, yo, you got Germany's league, Spain's league, Italy's league, you got France's league, you got the Mexican league, USA. Like, bro, you got all these leagues from different countries, and trying to find one place that has them all is AIDS, bro. It's actually buns. It's actually butt trying to find one. So I don't know if it's easier for like football or NBA. I'd assume so, to try and find a match, like trying to find one spot that has it all. But for soccer in general, yo, I'm not gonna lie, it's almost unbearable. It's almost unbearable. Like at some point I feel like I might just go to TikTok live just to watch a match. Like that might be the end result, but or maybe it's just my ignorance. I'm not gonna lie. It could be that. But that's the thing too. It's like I feel like a lot of services and all that, they be so separate. Like they be so separated, bro. I just need something with everything in it. That, like, bro, everything be having its own things, and it's like, yo, you gotta get it or you can't watch. I'm like, oh my.
Coolers and lunch breaks on the Monday after the game. And advertisers are willing to pay anything to get their product in front of hundreds of millions of eyeballs. During the first Super Bowl, a 30-second ad only cost $42,500. Today, a 30-second Super Bowl ad costs $7 million. That's about $233,333 per second on the TV. The buzz from commercials became such a big deal that in 1989, USA Today created the Super Bowl ad meter. It's a real-time survey that asks consumers how they felt about each Super Bowl ad. The results are used as a metric by many advertisers and consumers to see which company won the big game. And this, I mean, Jesus Christ, how dystopian is this? So, like, we're all like judging how well did you sell your product to me? More food for me, please. But even though these ads never top the ad meter list, I'd be remiss not to mention the Bud Bowl. Variations of this ad ran during the Super Bowl from 1989 to 1997, featuring bottles of Budweiser and Bud Light playing a game of football against each other. And this is, I mean, these commercials are perfectly stupid. This is just like, this is what you expect to see on Super Bowl Sunday. The bottles are wearing helmets. The fans are cans. It's all perfect. It's all laid out before us. The Bud Bowl was America. Unfiltered. Golden roasted tobacco. So we get through the pregame shit, some of the ads. Now it's time for the big thing that people mostly care about, which is the halftime show. The big kahuna, the thing that you can't believe how much money they spent on this goddamn thing. But it wasn't always a huge production. For the first several decades of its existence, the Super Bowl halftime show was primarily a showcase for marching bands. But then the Super Bowl 23 halftime show was completely unhinged. It was broadcast in, quote, 3D and featured an Elvis impersonator named Elvis Presto. Finally, at Super Bowl 25...
Huh? I'm sorry, gang. Was the budget not there? Was the budget not there or something? Like, why? Elvis Presto? Gang, I'm sorry. What? 3D? They put it in 3D too, gang. I'm not gonna lie. They got it, I guess. They needed money. They needed to save funds for next year or something, because I'm be personally honest, imagine doing that for like the World Cup or the Olympics or something like that. You just get some sort of impersonator. Like, that's almost disrespectful.
With Whitney Houston, they figured out the formula. Use pop stars. Just use goddamn pop stars. Today, performing at the halftime show is a bucket list item for any pop star trying to make their way in this world, but it's more about legacy and exposure, because this gig does not pay that much, I found out. You don't earn a single cent doing the halftime show. None of the celebrities have ever earned any money doing that. However, generally, performers will see a boost in their streams and album.
So what you're saying is it's just for publicity? Why could I not say that? So it's just for publicity? Like, they don't get no bread? That's like going on a stream or something like that. Like, I feel like you don't get paid, but you get your name out there. I did not know that. That actually catches me off guard. I'm not gonna lie. I wonder if that's what they also do for, like, the... Of course, I'm going back to, like, the World Cup. Like, you know how Shakira had the song and all that? Like Waka, Waka, hey, hey. Like, I wonder if she got paid for that. Or it was just out of love of the game, and it's like some huge thing. It's like you can't miss out. It's the Super Bowl. It's the World Cup. It's the Olympics or something like that. Like, that's what I wonder if it's about. Because I did not know they did not get paid. That actually surprises me. I'm not gonna lie. Off the performance, I didn't know that.
Sales over 300%, so it evens out. At one point, the NFL even tried to get performers to pay to get on the halftime show. But even with a very weird business model, there's no denying just how grand a spectacle the halftime show can be. I mean, Prince performing Purple Rain while it was raining was generational peak. And then there was the Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson nipple thing where she showed her nipple. That was weird. And of course, the Katy Perry halftime performance, which birthed the meme of the left shark who had no f***ing clue what he was doing, and I love that little guy. And then to finish it out, there is the game. The football game. And like I said, I don't care about it. Most people don't care about it, but to the people who do, it means a lot. So let's just give them their space. But statistically, throughout a football game, only 11 minutes of the actual game are played. I like hockey, and a lot of hockey is played during the game of hockey. What the f is that number? I don't know how you have the time.
There's no way, right? For those who actually play football, is that actually true? Is that actually true? You only play 11 minutes? Or does that mean like one person will have the ball 11 minutes at most? Because I know for soccer, it's like you may have the ball for a maximum of like 5 minutes or something. Because you get the ball, you try and find space or find a place to pass the ball, and you just let it go. You have the ball for like 5 seconds unless you carry it. Like, you try and dribble past someone, then you'll have it for longer. Is that the type of thing? Like just because it be going by so quick, the amount of tactics and everything on the side, like, you have to choose the route that takes the most time. Is that what it is? Like, I genuinely don't know.
To decide who's the better team in only 11 minutes. That makes no sense to me. And what is special teams? And I just want to talk about how football confuses the shit out of me as an absolute dork on the internet. Listen, I'm trying to learn, but like, every time there's a play is done and someone explains, there's like a billion plays that you can do. And then there's a bunch of types of penalties that don't make any sense to me. There always seems to be a new rule that, oh, you can't do that. That's a rule. Tom Brady made sure of that. And when your team loses, your city gets burned down. And when your team wins, you burn down your city. If you're Philadelphia, just doesn't seem like fun at all. I don't know. We should have two separate things at this point. We should have a Sunday in February where everyone.
Yo, but you really gotta think. Imagine like missing or failing to win, or being the reason you lose. Like, imagine like I'm going back to soccer game. Imagine you have a penalty or something and you miss. Like, how much pressure that is on you, how much your mind is gonna be like discombobbled because you miss. Like your mindset is gonna be terrible, and the things people are gonna say about you is awful. And I'm not gonna lie, I remember there was one time during someone got killed. Like I think it was South America country. I don't know which one in specific. Was it Bolivia, Peru, somewhere around there? He missed a shot, cost him the game, the World Cup, I believe it was, and they killed him after the game. Like that's crazy. I know it's like passion be at an all-time high, but to take another person's life is absurd. So I'm like, yo, imagine being that person. Like you miss the game-winning touchdown or kick or something like that. Like you could have won if you scored that kick, or made that 2-point, that layup or something like that, bro. I don't know.
Just has a party and a Sunday where the game happens, and those are completely different things. Let the mass media sell you ads during the party. Just everyone sit down and just zone out watching the TV. Let the football people watch football and gamble their life savings away. I think that's what it should be at this point. Anyway, no conclusion. I guess that was a conclusion. Like, comment, and...
Oh, okay. I mean, that was a cool video. I feel like I learned a bit. Is it like gonna make a huge impact on my life? I don't know. Probably. Yeah, I mean, it definitely made me think of some things that I didn't think about before. But yeah, other than that, it was a cool video. Big Tug, shout out to him. Link in the description.